Good morning, everyone. It's Sarah, and welcome to my crochet live video. Coffee and crochet with Sarah. I was having just a little bit of trouble getting on Facebook this morning. We have a crazy wild storm going on, lots of snow and lots of wind. Down in the town of Parker, I think they said there were 13 inches of snow. I bet you we got 2 feet up here. It is just crazy windy. And so I went to connect to Facebook for the live, and it was saying no, and then it started typing everything backwards. And if you look at the title, it says Coffee and Crochet with Sarah. Then it says IVREN. I don't know what that is. It just started going crazy. So I thought, it's 9:30. I'm going to hit that live button and we're going to get started. The wind is crazy, and I think that's what's causing all these flickers and things. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to do things kind of backwards. I'm going to show you all the new items and patterns first. And then I'm going to, it's kind of funny, I had a couple of different people ask me some questions this week that were a little more personal. And so I thought I'd just jot some of those questions down and do a little question series. Now, I want to thank all of you for popping in. I see Stacy and Betty and Anne Marie and Talana and Marlene and Sinead and Susan. Let me get this thing going here. Jerry and Tina. Okay, so it's not letting me advance this either. So let's, okay, there we go. Karen. Tina. So anyway, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. They did some more changing. And so we're just going to keep right on going and still have a great time. All right. So the first thing we need to do is clink in. I got my great big give thanks cup today. And I guess I'm being challenged to give thanks for this snowy. I'm calling it Snowvember. We've had so much snow this November. I don't mind the snow. They're perfect about getting the roads clear. It's when it has all that wind and I get the 6-foot drifts in front of my garage and I'm stranded. My husband got up at 5 o'clock this morning and he shoveled everything with his, or not shoveled, but snowblowed. He has a blade on his tractor, but he thought, oh, I'll just do the snowblower. He'll have to do the tractor when he gets home because the drifts are just crazy. So anyway, let me go ahead. Oh, clink in, clinkety clink, clink, clink. Lots of clinking today. All righty, let me make sure I said hello to others who are popping in. Teresa and Ruth. There's another Teresa, Michelle, Katie, Stacy. Oh, Stacy lives, I think, in the Springs, and she's saying we're making paper snowflakes today. The perfect thing to make today. All righty, let's see. Anybody else I missed? Lisa Ann. I love Lisa Ann's name because my precious sister Lisa, her name was Lisa Ann, and she spelled it just like that. And every time I see that, it makes me think how much I love my sister and miss her, of course. She's gone on to heaven. All righty, so I'm going to go ahead and just start with all the fun new patterns. We released 3 new patterns this week. The first one was one I wasn't even going to do just yet, but I was messing around and it worked up just perfectly. And that is our houndstooth fingerless gloves. And you can see right back behind me there is our houndstooth hat and scarf. And so now you can make a set. This is a brand new free pattern on my blog. It's also on my YouTube video. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about YouTube and my blog and when we get done with this to help you work your way around it a little bit. The other thing, oh, and this is a completely adjustable pattern. You're going to measure your wrist and then you're going to measure your length, and you can make it any size for any person, whether your hand is short and chubby like mine or long and thin, or you want your sleeve thing to be longer. You can adjust it however that you want. I guess your sleeve thing would be your band. Alrighty, now the other thing we did was our Santa and Elf bags, and I absolutely love these. They're super fun and easy to make. You can fill it full of lots of goodies. I kind of call it a gift in a gift because when you give somebody this gift bag full of goodies, you're giving them a gift and a Christmas ornament. Isn't that cool? You pull the string and they look like round Christmas ornament bags that resemble an elf and a Santa. free crochet pattern on my blog, brand new video for both of these, and they're together because they're really the same pattern. It's just a difference in colors. The Santa one, of course, red with the black belt, and the elf green with the red. But you know, you can do these in any colors that you want to. That's the beauty of crochet. You can use your creative juices and do it however that you want to. Okay, and these measure, I think, 10 by 12, if I'm not mistaken. 10 inches across, so that'd be 20 inches around, and then 12 inches long. Nice size to fill with goodies or gifts, or even a gift card. All right, now the other thing I wanted to show you is the pattern we released yesterday. And I'm going to take you to the top cam here so you can see those. And oh, I got my scrubbies in there for a reason. This is our bread basket. Let me move my cup and my ink pen out of the way. And what we did here is we made just a round basket. We changed colors and we used that fun double crossover stitch, which some people call a mock cable. And by changing the colors, this one looks Thanksgiving-y or fall, and this one looks Christmassy. They measure about 10 inches across. So it's a nice size basket. You can put a towel in there and use it for a bread basket. And you can use it for lots of other things also. All right, my throat was getting dry. You can use it for jewelry or makeup. You can fill it with candy or goodies. And one thing I do suggest is that you make it with a washable yarn. Now these are stitched with 2 strands of any acrylic yarn. You can also use cotton. But I wouldn't suggest using wool because, of course, wool felts when you wash it. And these are going to probably get used a lot on the table, goodies, candies, things like that, and you want to be able to wash it. All right, and so I would suggest using an acrylic, a cotton, or an acrylic cotton blend to make these out of. I like using the Red Heart Super Saver because it makes a nice sturdy basket. When you use 2 strands, it gets nice and stiff, and it makes a nice sturdy basket. Now I've got these in here for a reason. I'm not going to be having a video tomorrow, and I'm not on Thursday, but on Friday. Those of you who aren't going shopping, I'm sure I'll be out a little bit. I'm going to update my happy little scrubby pattern. It's a cotton front with a scrubby yarn back. And we can add a little smile. And you can see this one's in like more of a brownish so that it goes with this basket. And this one is, of course, Christmas colors. You can make these in any colors that you want, any cottons that you want. And I'll, of course, show you how to do that. But this makes a nice gift. If you want to give someone a basket to use in their kitchen maybe or anywhere, you can make some little scrubbies or washcloths, put them in there, and give it as a gift. So just some ideas to get you ready for that. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is a pattern, and this is not my pattern. This is a pattern. It's by, let me turn this over so I can make sure I say his name right. It's designed and written by James Lee Kelly. And I've got it on a blocking board because I wanted to block the little angel wings. And this is called the Fur Baby Angel. It doesn't have a video. It's just a really simple pattern. And the only thing, I'll put the link on my blog, and I'll also put the link underneath the video on YouTube so you can go and find this. Now, like I said, it doesn't have a video. It's just a simple little angel. And you can see it's got the little paw print on the dress portion of the angel. Let me bring this down because the light's making that pink one too bright. And the pattern calls for you to do it in 2 colors. And so I thought it would be fun to grab some silver and gold and make it in these colors. You can add a hanger and hang it on your tree. This one's for Rosie. This one's for Max. Isn't that fun? With the little paw print on the dress. All right, so I did a blog about it, and I talked about a couple of issues that I had and ways that you can work the pattern. It's super easy. It's free on Ravelry. If you don't want to wait, you can go to Ravelry, put in Fur Baby Angel. It'll come up, and it's a Ravelry free download, and you can grab it there. But aren't they cute? I just really wanted to share that with you. And I found it the other day when we were doing crochet, because I put every day I try to do what I call a free pattern crochet link blast. And I was doing angels that day and I came across this one. I think I originally found it on Pinterest and then it was hooked to his page on Ravelry. So you can find it on Pinterest as well. All right, and so it's super easy. It's just the little angel with her wings, and then you add the skirt. You can do it in one color or two, or you could do it in whatever colors that you want. But I just thought it was a really cute pattern. I wanted to share it with you. But like I said, there's not a video, but the pattern is super easy. And let me give you a look. I'm going to cover up the bottom of it because I don't want to show his pattern because that's not right. Let's see. I know what I'll do. I'll take this other page and lay it across and show you what it looks like when you go to look for it. Okay, it looks like this. Let me cover the bottom up because I don't want you to see his pattern. That's not right. But you can see it's called Fur Baby Angel. And there's the angel that he's showing you. And you can see very little bit of what was needed. You need a G hook, which a G is what, your 4.50 or so? I'd have to look on my G hook. I don't have my chart with me. And then you just need colors that are worsted weight or cotton, medium 4 weight or whatever you have. And the thing is, when you're making something like this, say you make it and it's too big for what you're wanting, you can always go down to, like, these are all medium weight number 4 yarns. You can always go down to 3 and maybe go down a hook size and it'll be a more compact size. If you want it bigger, go up a hook size and go up a yarn size. Maybe make it in a chunky 5 if you want it bigger. I think it would be beautiful to put in a frame and for a puppy that's gone over the rainbow bridge, and you could make the angel and then put the puppy's name. I think that would be a wonderful way to remember the puppy, or the dog I should say, that's gone over the rainbow bridge. And so that's kind of why I wanted to go ahead and make one for my dog, so I'll have it and then I can frame it or something and always have it as a memory of my dogs. Yes, they're doing great, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I wanted to share that pattern with you. I was going to click over here so you can see it a lot closer. There is those a lot closer. My favorite is the gold and the silver, though. You can see this one is a sparkle, just so you can see those. This pink one here is the one I made exactly like his pattern. This one is a little bit thinner yarn on the bottom. It's still a number 4. It's a blue sparkle, but it was a little bit thinner yarn, and so the holes were a little bit bigger. So you can keep that in mind if you're going to do that pattern. All right, so that's all the new crochet patterns. That's all the new videos for this week. And so what I'm going to do next, since it hasn't kicked me off yet, I'm looking for my notes here. Here we go. When I make notes, I use the front and the back, and then I switch them out each week to save paper. And so then I was going to start talking about what I talked about last week. Okay, maybe I just need another quick swig of coffee, huh? And of course, I'm just drinking my old Folgers that I love with just a little bit of Splenda and a splash of peppermint. I love peppermint. All right, so we don't have a discussion as far as a technique or a question about crochet this week. These are 8 questions that were asked of me within the last couple of weeks. And so I'm going to call it my YouTube interview. All right. So the first question I got is, how long have you been crocheting? You say it's been 40 years, but you don't look 40. First of all, mwah, thank you for saying I look young. So here's the story. I'm actually 56 years old, and I started crocheting when I was about 13, 14, 15, off and on. And how I learned, which is the second question, how did you learn to crochet, or who taught you? And how I learned was from the library. I was always a bookworm. My grandmother was a librarian. She taught me to love books when I was really little, and I loved books. And I've never been one that's really drawn to like romance novels or any of that sort of thing. I always loved history and information. And I know that sounds crazy, but I used to check out books on like how to do stuff. And one of the ones I checked out every day after school, by the way, I would get off the bus, I'd run in, drop off my backpack, and then the library was like 2 blocks from my house. And so I'd run up to the library. They changed the name of it though and gotten a lot bigger. It was just a little community library there, and I loved it. I think it was called Allie Beth Martin East Regional Library or something like that. I think it's called just the Tulsa Library now, because I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in case you didn't know that. But anywho, I lived at the library. I checked out actually knitting, crochet, tatting, all of those kinds of things. Embroidery. I learned a lot of crewel embroidery, needlepoint, all of that stuff, even sewing from library books. I loved library books. Well, crochet was the one I loved the most. Now I still sew. I still knit occasionally. I don't do any of the cross stitch or crewel work anymore just because the needles are so tiny and it just really kills my hand. Well, it's actually my wrist from, you know, the needles being so tiny. And I'll do it occasionally if I get, the itch to do it. But for the most part, crochet is my number one craft. Yarn, crochet is my number one love. And I learned from a library book. And that's why a lot of the things that I do are different than what a lot of people are doing nowadays, because I learned from a book. I think I've said this before. I think the book was written in 1902. And I was able to find it. I think it's called Fine Crochet or Crochet Finery or something. I can't remember. But anyway, I did not find the book in hardback, but someone sent me a link where I could download portions of the book for free. And so I have done that, and I was looking through just the contents, the table of contents, and it just made me cry because it was just like coming home, because I found this book and it was, online. So I downloaded the portions that it would let me for free. And then I was reading through this. I'm like, oh, I remember this, because I love crochet so much. Okay. So that's how I learned to crochet. So that's question number 2. All right, the next question that I was asked is, what is my favorite crochet hook size? Now, I use a lot of H&I, but actually J, which is a 6.0 millimeter, is my favorite crochet hook size. And it has to do with the thickness of it, the ease of using it, and I just like it. It's just my favorite. But as far as most of what I write, I usually use an H or an I, a 5.0 or a 5.50 millimeter crochet hook. So those, I use that more, but it's not my favorite. The truth is I love all crochet hooks and I'll use them all, except those little teeny tiny ones. I can't do any of that thread embroidery anymore. I've had several people ask me about it, and I'm really sorry. I just can't do it. My hands, it's so tiny. I can't do it anymore. I did a lot of them. I did a lot of embroidery, not embroidery, but the thin crochet thread and a lot of doilies is what I was going to say, when I was a lot younger. As a matter of fact, that's a lot of what I started with. All right, so then I got asked, what is your favorite weight of yarn? And so because I love the J hook 6.0, I like the chunkier yarns. And that's why you'll see, behind me I have a lot of chunky yarn because I love it. And a lot of people say, oh, that's just cheating. You're going too fast. You need to slow down and do smaller stitches, things like that. And I like all the stitches. I like all thread and yarn. I love all the thicknesses. But as far as for me personally, when I'm going to sit down and make something for myself, I usually will grab a J hook and a bulky 5 or 6. I just like working with it. It's fun. It does work up quickly. And most of the blankets that I make for my dogs are bulky. And if I'm going to use a worsted weight, I'll double it and sometimes triple it. I like to use, and a lot of it is instant gratification, because if you can make something quicker, you're done. I've always said in crochet, we like to get our projects done. And in knitting, it's more about the process of getting it done. Yes, they want to get it done, but it's kind of a different mindset. When I'm knitting, I'm concentrating on the stitches and the evenness and the way that it's working up and all of those things. And yes, I'm thinking about that and working on that when I'm using or when I'm crocheting, but it's a little different mindset, for me. And of course, whatever I say on my videos is just my opinion. It's not written in stone. It's not for, it's not everybody's, of course, it's just my opinion. And everyone's entitled to their own opinion too. Okay. So then the other question was, what other hobbies do you like? And I already talked about, all the different crocheting and sewing, all those I like. The other thing I really enjoy doing is gardening. And that goes along with another question, because someone said, how come you have nicks on your fingers sometimes? Well, what I love to do, because I like to have fresh, real food. And so I have all these great big pots and containers, and I grow different kinds of lettuces and kales and spinach, tomatoes and peppers and zucchini and lots of other things, and I grow them in these big pots. And I'm all the time either canning or making freezer pickles, and so I'm cutting and slicing, and so you might see my hands have a nick or something in it when we get like in, August, September, Although this particular year was not a good gardening year. We had late snows, and then we had hailstorms, and I'm telling you, I did not get very good produce from my garden. But I do have an indoor arrow garden thing, and my granddaughter, her daddy got her one, and he brought it over here, and so we're going to learn how to garden together with these air growers. And I'll talk about that more a little later. If you're interested in that, you can let me know. And they're just, you have these little pods and you grow. One of them holds 12, one of them holds 8, and I think one of them holds 6, I think. And so you can grow different kinds of herbs. You can grow lettuces and all kinds of different vegetables. It's a little different thinking, because you have to, like if you grow tomatoes, you have to pollinate them, with the Q-tip yourself. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of learning. And I think my granddaughter, who's 7, is going to really enjoy this. And there's no weeding. No weeding the weeds. I love that. When we lived in Oklahoma, we had a huge garden, and we used to have to be out there weeding those weeds all the time. And every time my kids would disobey, I'd say, go weed the green beans, or go weed the corn. They hated me for that, probably. I don't know. They sure enjoyed it, though. They sure enjoyed the food. Okay, so we talked about that. The other thing is, I got asked, what's my favorite brand of yarn? Now, I love all yarns. My favorite brand is the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby, because it's a medium weight, worsted weight number 4 yarn, and it's very soft. But I can't always say that's what I buy, because depending on the project that I'm going to do, depends on what I buy and what's on sale. I like a good sale. And you can see, obviously, I have every brand you could probably think of behind me. Lion brand, Red Heart Yarnspirations, off brands, Knit Picks, lots of different, and I'm going to show you something I got from Darn Good Yarn today too also. So I'm trying not to forget that. One of you, I'll post that. Sarah, don't forget about what you're going to show us from Darn Good Yarn. For some reason, the comments are not coming forward like they usually do. So that's probably a Facebook glitch from today too. So I'll try to pull those forward. Okay, the last question is this. What one thing would you tell a new crocheter that's first starting out? Okay, everyone is at a different place in what I call the crochet journey. I don't think anyone ever becomes an expert. I think maybe you learn a lot of things, but I don't think anyone ever becomes an expert. And if they tell you they're an expert, then they're done learning. That's why I never say I'm an expert, because I learn something every single day just about. Looking at other people's techniques online, watching other people's videos and how they do things, and and plus I still love books. I'm still in crochet books all the time, looking and reading and so this is what I would say to a brand new crocheter who's just learning. And I say this, and if you've done my course, I don't know if you know that I have a beginner crochet course. It's 12 lessons with 12 videos, and each video contains a lesson and then a practice project to learn those techniques. And I try to tell all the beginners from the beginning through the 12th video that you need to practice, practice, practice. Because practice doesn't make perfect. We don't want to be perfect, but practice builds confidence. Anytime you make something and say you follow the project to a T, you've used the right yarn, the right crochet hook, and it looks different, it's not wrong. It's just different. And if it came out a little bigger or a little smaller, it's just tension. And that's something you can practice. If it's too loose, your stitches are too loose, that's something you can practice. And the more you practice and the more you crochet, the more confidence you'll build. Okay? And that's why I always say we all have room for growth. We all have room in our crochet journey to learn new things. And that's why I say, I don't care what people say. If they say that they're an expert crocheter, then they've decided they're not going to learn anymore. And I don't want to be that way. I want to learn every day. I want to learn new stuff, you know. So, and so that's what I tell you. Take your time and practice. The other thing is, a lot of times someone will learn a few stitches and then they'll take on a project that's too hard. And when you take on a project that's too hard, you're going to end up frustrated. And so even if you are doing beginner projects for a while, keep doing them. You know, I still love beginner projects. Sometimes we get tired of doing a great big project and we throw it over into the naughty corner and we pick up something easy and work on it. You know, because I don't want you to be frustrated. I want you to love crochet like I do. You know, we talked in the past about how crochet is healing and it helps us. We make something and we give it away to others, or we donate it to a charity or something. These are things that can help us. And so let me bottom line this for you. If you're a brand new crocheter, have a teachable attitude and practice, because you will build your confidence. All right? I'm telling you, don't get frustrated. Don't feel bad if you're still working some beginner or easy patterns. I love easy patterns. Most of my patterns are easy. I never, ever, ever say any of mine are expert, ever. Because I don't want people to ever stop learning crochet. Because it's an ever-growing art. Crochet is art. It's an ever-growing and ever-changing art. All right, now, those are the questions. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to email me at www.poshpoochdesigns.com. That's my webpage, and you can click that little contact button, and I'll send you right over. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you real quick. I am going to go to my computer camera, and then I'm going to send you over here. Now, one of the things that happens is, let me see if I can bring this up a little bit. There we go. This was the pattern we did yesterday. This is the chunky bread basket pattern. And the question that I get a lot is, I see you have the YouTube link. How do I find the written pattern? Okay, so if you go to this link, it takes you over to YouTube. And I'm going to pause this. And so what happens is, if you look down below, and I'm not sure if I can get that up any higher, but down below this video, you'll find either it says see more or an arrow, and you'll click that, and underneath that it'll say crochet pattern at this link, and that is underneath here. And then you can click that link and it'll take you right to the written pattern. And I'm going to pull this down so you can see there's the picture. There, oh, it popped up. Let's try this again. And then here is the written pattern with all the pictures. All right. So don't get frustrated if you can't find the pattern. It's there. I promise you it is there. You just have to find it. Every single one of my YouTube videos has the pattern. And every one of my YouTube videos, underneath it, you hit that arrow. There's either a black arrow pointing down or it says see more. You can click it. It depends on which device you're using. If you're on an iPad, iPhone, Samsung phone, your computer, or a different kind of device, that arrow or that see more might look a little bit different. But if you see that link, rather than getting frustrated, I can't find the written pattern, I prefer a written pattern, because everybody prefers something different. Some people like a video, some people like a written pattern, and I've been doing with all my new patterns a photo tutorial as well. Okay, it takes a little longer, but you get the pictures. And that way you can click the link, pause the video, go down, hit that arrow or where it says see more, and then it gives you the link for the written pattern. Click that link and it takes you right to my blog where the written pattern is. I wanted to share that with you because that is a question that I get quite often. Another place you can find it is on my page where all the photos are. And if you do that, let's see if I can get you over there without this thing acting silly. All right. If you go over here, you can see it says photos. If you click that, it takes you to my photos. And here it says crochet videos. And you can click that. Oops, there we go. And it'll show all the pictures that I've done recently with all my crochet videos. And I put them in different groups because if I put them all together, they would just be too big. And then you can just click whatever picture that you want. Let's click on this one. And there's the link to where the written pattern is. All right. That's another way that you can find written pattern if you can't find it. So anyway, I just wanted that to help you. There we go. We'll go back to our front camera. All right, so that's a couple ways that you can find that written pattern. You know, everybody's different. Some people prefer a video. Some people prefer a written pattern. Some people like a photo tutorial. And some people like it all. They'll print off the written pattern. They'll do the video along with the written pattern and follow it along. And so there's lots of options there because I want you all to crochet. I want you to love it as much as I do. All right, the last thing I'm going to show you before I go, and I'm so happy that the wind hasn't messed up our connection today, is this. Now, this is a secret. Do not tell my daughter. I bought her this for Christmas. This is the Darn Good Yarn 12 Days of Christmas, and I haven't opened it because it's for her. And behind each one of these doors is a ball of yarn, and there's patterns that you can use that yarn for. You can use it for something else. Now, my daughter, Elizabeth Spivey of Callie's Clips and Crochet Creations, she knits and crochets, and so I bought this for her for Christmas. Now, this is on sale right now at Darn Good Yarn. It's 12 for the 12 days of Christmas. I don't know what the yarn is because I didn't want to open it and look. I was so tempted, though. But they sealed it in plastic. So I'll let you know how she likes it. I'm going to take it down there and we go visit her. I'm going to go visit my grandkids. Two of my grandkids. My other one lives here. We're going to do Christmas with her after we get back. But we're going to do Christmas with the grandkids. Aiden and Callie, the two that were with us this last spring. And this is one of the gifts I'm going to take my daughter. And I'll tell you how she likes it, okay? I'm excited to see it myself. I think it's going to be super fun. All right, so now next Tuesday is the first Tuesday in December. And so I'm going to be announcing, oh, that reminds me, no, I'm calling it Snowvember instead of November. Our November winner contacted me and I sent her package out yesterday. And I'm glad I did it yesterday because if I'd have waited till today, it wouldn't have gone out because of this crazy snow. So I'm glad. And I just want to say thank you to Charlotte Hyatt for contacting me so quickly. I love it when you win and you contact me quickly because I want to get it out to you and because I want you to see what you got and like it. All right. So next Tuesday is the first Tuesday in December. And I'm going to be showing you my December giveaway. I'm very excited about it. Part of it has come in, and I'm hoping that the snow doesn't keep the other part out. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today. I know that's a lot of information. Probably too much information about me. Well, thank you all for being here with me today. And like I always say, and I truly, truly mean it, I cannot do what I love without you. Thank you to my Facebook followers and friends, and thank you to my YouTube followers and friends. I feel like we're just a big community of crochet, fun, and love. I have lots of more fun patterns coming for December, and I'm real excited to share those with you. So everybody have a snowy, blowy week, and happy Snowvember to you.